What's up, everybody out there? This is another Whatnots and What Have Yous podcast. I'm Tonk.
Quintus.
And we're going to get down to business. We're slightly inebriated.
He's slightly inebriated. I'm full on 3 sheets to the wind.
Like I said, we're getting inebriated on a connoisseur level basis. And
right. Enjoying those beers.
Yes, we are. We went through a whole line of different shebang-a-bangs of Japanese craft beer, which I wasn't too impressed with, but
one
was okay, and I can't even pronounce the name right now, but it was
something.
Anoni or something to that effect.
Cueto's not bad, but that one owl-looking one.
Yeah.
God dang it!
I like owls. Don't like owls so much on that one.
No,
they shouldn't have used an owl because.
I hate when they misinterpret something calling an IPA when actually it's an ale at the most.
So apparently they need to hire themselves a little bit of help to come in there and show them exactly what needs to be going on.
Right.
But we wanted to delve down. Squintus had a topic that he wanted to talk about, so get ready to wrap your lips around this thick tube steak of knowledge here. So.
I
Quintus,
did have I had actually a topic.
Yeah, you had a topic you wanted to get onto real quick.
There's a whole bunch of them out there.
So,
I don't even remember because I'm so inebriated.
Just give them a little knowledge. Give them a little knowledge.
Well, earlier tonight we were looking at topics and information tidbits to talk about, and I kind of gave it to Tom to do a free flow session because I think our best moments is when we free flow,
especially when we're getting a little toasty, but
so that's the reason why we kind of started the podcast in the first place, is because we think that our free flow is better than most people's conversational shit that's out there. Because I was watching YouTube videos, and these guys trying their damnedest to be entertaining and informative, but damn, they have absolutely no presence whatsoever on YouTube or a podcast. Whereas I think we at least have somewhat of a presence. At least the start of it.
At least. And we delve down, we're cynical, we're pessimistic, and you know what?
I love it.
We love it, and we're going to share it with you.
I love being pessimistic. Because that way, you're never surprised. You're never disappointed in the shit. When something good happens, you feel great. When something bad happens, oh well, shit happens.
But at least you can talk some good junk about it, and at least get a little cynical humor out of whatever's going on in your life. So, with that being said, lay it on us, Quintus. What you got? I know you were talking about some debauchery earlier, and you wanted to
throw some shit out there.
Leak in a little bit of your debauchery, which nobody really knows about. Everybody keeps hearing about the old Tonk Father's debauchery.
So the one that popped in my head recently, because for some reason, I don't know why, but it came to mind one day, and it stuck recently, is that several years back, Tonk and I and some other friends decided to celebrate New Year's. We went to a disco bar, not bad. It was like a 30-year-old to 40-year-old people scenario, which was not bad.
That's usually the age range where women are looking to get their boxes beat up, because they've already had their deflowered, and they're ready to spread their leaves, spread their petals.
But Tonk, have you ever gotten laid at all?
Once. And it was nothing to hoot and holler about.
I got nothing out of there. I got a couple of you dance good. You move.
You get some moves.
You get some moves for a big boy, but no, nothing else. Anyways, we had a mutual friend that has no longer. I mean, I have nothing really too terrible to say, but he has fallen out of our grace. Anyways, we got fucked up on New Year's Eve. And I mean super fucked up.
Talking in vowels and
and
syllables
you, me,
and trying to get that connection from your brain to your lips.
If anything comes out that's coherent, you're lucky. So the next day, we're all at Tonk's old apartment, and we're all hungover doing our thing, and Mr. Fall Out of Grace decides to go. By the way, he's a pussy hound. I think he's gay, but he's a pussy hound.
Supposedly.
Let's go to a Filipino bar.
I was wondering where Squintus was going with this, and now it just refreshed my.
Okay, so lady and folks, this is going to be a long story because I have to explain certain things to certain folks out there because they don't understand some of the premises behind it. So I remember going to this bar with Tonk and 2 other individuals. The Pussy Hound, as we're going to refer to him from now on. What about Gay Pussy Hound?
Yeah, that would be better, because calling him a Pussy Hound,
not
even
so
though
much.
people don't know who he is, that's not fitting. Because
yeah, okay, Gay Pussy Hound.
The guy's never been able to pick up any pussy besides putting $1 in between his teeth and...
Paid him.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So Gay Pussy Hound, myself, Tonk, and an individual, which we'll call whatever, decided to go to this little Filipino hole-in-the-wall, should-have-been-condemned building bar that had...
We had cockroach men rolling out the fucking red... Cockroaches rolling out the red carpet for
Exactly. That beer cost, like, somehow, for some reason, cost $9 for a beer that wasn't really a beer, and... Anyways...
Wasn't even cold.
So, myself, I have a... What's the word I'm looking for? More of a... Not allergic, but... The Okinawan sake liquor has a very... after effect on me that causes irritable bowel problems.
Lapses in memory.
Lapses in memories.
Bad judgment.
Very much so. So anyways.
Waking up with women that have beards as long as Quintus has.
Well, nothing like that. Thank God. But I remember being at this bar, and of course the girls are not paid, but they're forced to love you. Yeah, to tell you to be your sexy and great and wonderful.
Pinch your nipples when
exactly.
When you need it.
Yeah, once they act like they want to suck your dick in the bar, but once they get out, they're very timid. But that's jumping forward. So I'm in the bar with these guys. I'm hungover, and the urge of taking a shit, not a normal shit, but the exploding shits hits me, and I go in the bathroom. All it is a fucking urinal and a sink, nothing else. There's nothing else nearby. And, of course, everyone's saying, yeah, except for Tonk, because he seems to be kind of penny pinching on this, which I don't blame him. I don't blame him on this one. For this time, I don't blame him.
Trying to rub a nickel together and get a dime.
But, these girls, let's say, to take them out of the bar, cost quite a bit of money. A lot of money, actually.
And keep in mind... people out there and tune in to the debauchery land.
No.
But there's a lot of fucking twatitution here and in Asia land. So even though you people back in the States, when you're used to hookers on the streets and you're used to hookers that probably aren't women but look like women, but you got to worry about checking for doing a Crocodile Dundee and doing a check there. Here in Asia, it's pretty easy. It's pretty straightforward. And it gets to the point because most guys don't want to go through the bullshit of trying to do the whole hunting and carousing and the smooching and loving and filling women's ears with a bunch of nonsense that we all know is bullshit.
All lies, yeah.
So they get down to business.
So it's more of a lax sense of moral view. So
you're lax until you open your wallet.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, getting back to the shit story. So Gay Pussy Hound decides to go get one because he's so full of money. He gets one. Another guy that we have with us, he keeps pushing himself back and forth. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to get it. It's expensive. I don't know. I'm horny, but not horny. But he doesn't get one. I know Tonk doesn't get one because he's just fucking a cheap motherfucker. So, anyways, I was dumb enough to pick one up. And we proceed to go to a love motel, which a love motel here is pretty much pay by the hour hotel, but it's not as dirty.
Bad for Quintus,
yeah, pay by the hour is great. It's not as dirty or gross as you think. It's actually pretty clean. They give you a nice. There's all kinds of varieties.
They even have themes.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. Because that's a pretty cool story. Actually, that's a pretty cool thing to talk about. But anyways, we get this pay by the hour hotel, which is a clean, nice hotel. I proceed to bring my girl in, kind of swore a little bit. She seems to be kind of into it,
slightly receptive.
Yeah. Anyways, she proceeds to let's see. okay, fuck it. Suck my dick.
Okay, fuck it.
But at the same time, I get the bubbles and crudeling, bubbling in my gut.
Bumbling crude.
In my gut. I have to take a shit. Not just normal shit, but the shits. So, unfortunately, the bathroom, the toilet, is right fucking next to the goddamn bathroom. To the bedroom, to where the bed is. And the wall's probably 3 inches thick at the most.
Let me ask you something. Were you trying to, between your shit fart separator, were you trying to kind of grease a few out there?
I didn't take a shit at all, dude. Because the fact that you could hear every single whisper. I had I went to the bathroom, I held it on, I held it, I started profusely sweating, just dripping sweat because you gotta hold it. You know you have to take a shit. It's gonna come out no matter what, but you have to take a shit. But at the same time, you want to fuck the girl.
Were you trying to get a little of that gas out of you, though?
There was no gas.
There was propellant?
No, there was no gas. It was all liquid, dude. Straight up liquid, man. So, straight up liquid. So, I proceed to do some breathing techniques and pinch some more, and I go back out, and all I can say is the fact that she tries to coerce me into getting the good old big old boy nice and hard, and
did you flick your nuts a couple of times to get you perky?
Of course she did. I mean, that's part of the game. But nothing happened, man. I pretty much paid for nothing. In the end, fucking nothing happened.
I do recall old gay pussy hound saying that he had one girl, the girl that he brought home with him, and the way he described it, and I remember this, even though I'm drunk right now, but I remember him saying that she had bird flu breath. You remember that? Bird flu breath, dude.
Breath. It's awesome.
It was a great adjective to connect to another adjective to describe a noun.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which was, when I heard that I was glad. I was glad I went home and fucking just...
But what's funny about Mr. Pussy, a gay pussy hound, is the fact that he always had some kind of excuse with every single woman that he paid for. If it wasn't for one thing, it was for another.
Because my beard. She didn't like my beard.
Or she wanted my money. Or she had bird flu breath.
She had bird flu breath.
Or she had
She had a family to support. She had 3 generations of family to support.
Or she
back in another third world, fourth world.
Yeah.
I'm making my own world up. Fuck you.
How about a fucking cleft asshole? Something off that would push him to say that, oh, she's not good enough, or she's some kind of... But, I just had the inkling that he picked the person up just for appearance only.
It probably was for appearance.
But you know what? There's probably sometimes he probably did do it. But, because remember, different story, I'm not going to get into it, but I distinctly remember when we were talking about going to the Philippines... Dude, all he did was want to fuck her in the ass. He didn't talk nothing about the pussy.
He probably never saw a cleft asshole before, and he wanted to make sure that he saw a cleft asshole.
Well, that was the money whore one, supposedly. The one he fell in love with again. Remember? He always falls in love with him.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I remember hearing these stories and thinking, man, I am so fucking glad I didn't go on these little fucking these little journeys.
Because, sadly enough, you knew it, I knew it,
I goddamn well know, dude.
It fucking would end.
And I had my own little debaucheries, and usually it was by myself. It was in a seedy location, or some place where I knew some action was going to go on. You know what I mean?
When is there not seedy?
There's all kinds of fucking seedy issues here.
No kidding.
You know what I mean? Like hearing motherfuckers talking about certain bushes that you hide in. Yeah. And we're not talking about the proverbial bush, but we're talking about actual nature bushes.
Yeah, like leaves and sticks
and
twigs.
And sticks and twigs and actual bushes. I remember fucking, back in one of my old jobs, the guy saying, hey, there's this place in Naha, which is the capital of Okinawa. In Naha, if you hiding in these bushes here, there's people that know that you're hiding in these bushes, and if you pop out at the right time out of these bushes and say some kind of secret password, they'll let you get in on it or whatever's going on. And I remember hearing that and thinking, what in the fuck is going on in this world that I have no idea what's going on, but now I just got enlightened to something that's going on, and I don't like hearing what's going on.
Do you remember I told you that story about him, same person? about him being in high school at one point?
No, I don't.
I remember that.
Enlighten me, please.
I have
My drunken brain's not making the connection.
I have a female coworker that's Japanese. When she was
Is this about bush hiding?
In high school. Okay, she was in high school. At the moment in time when I heard this story, she's probably in her mid-30s. So you're talking about 15, 20 years ago, okay? Where she's talking about this certain somebody was kicked out of teaching English at her high school because he liked to show... American guy liked to show whip his dick out.
Whipping it out,
man.
Hey, guess what, guys?
And guess
it's
what?
It's time for show and tell.
What's funny is I'm telling the story that Tom just said to this person and other debauchery this person's involved in, and she goes, wait a second, is this person's name so-and-so?
I think this guy's wearing a wig, too.
Yeah.
I think he's got a wig, a big puffy wig.
Or at least fucking a weave or something. And I was like, yes, it's that person. She goes, oh my god, he got in trouble for whipping his willy out in front of kids, high school girls, when he was teaching English in high school. I was like, how the fuck is this person still around?
What is going on here, Squintus?
But, god dang, man.
Dude, and this is the bush hider. This was the guy. This was the bush hider.
Mr.
I remember him coming over. We didn't work together in the same location. I can't even mention the place that I'm talking about because.
Yeah, same employment, but different location.
Yeah, but I remember him coming over to my location of employment and saying, "Hey, did you know about the secret bush you hide in?" I remember looking at this guy and thinking, "This guy is a fucking whack job, man."
The secret bush.
And I was young at that time, dude. I was probably in my mid-20s.
Yeah.
I had my fair share of fucking, whatever was going on, right? But I remember hearing this guy and thinking, "Fuck, man, I'm a douchebag on many levels, but I don't think I've managed to get myself on the level that this guy's at."
No
and
kidding,
it makes you wonder, like everything degrades over time, right? Like, things degrade over time. For instance, your sense of taste, and your sense of smell, and your sense of hearing, and your eyesight, and everything else, right? Everything else degrades over time, right? So you need a higher sense of stimulus in order to get yourself stimulated.
More pepper, more salt for your food.
More pepper, more salt. Fucking coffee without cream.
Yeah, or sugar. See, it's straight up
beer
black.
with higher IBUs.
Yeah, or alcohol content.
Or higher alcohol content, or something just crazy out of this
keep pushing
fucking
it further
world
and further
shit.
and further.
Or like you see these old guys, like the dude off from Kung Fu that fucking hung himself because he was jerking himself off, and you just get to the point where you're so old. You get to the point where you're so fucking old where you got to hang yourself to jack off, dude, because jacking off has lost its luster so much.
I don't know how you can get behind that.
To where guys get to the point where they think, where they think I got to hang myself or somebody's got to punch me in the balls. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's where you get to when you fucking climb up the age ladder. So at that point in time where I'm 25 years old and I'm hearing this fucking guy with a poofy wig telling me that he's hiding in bushes, looking for bushes, it fucking blew my mind, man. It was something that I never thought I would hear in my life. Right. I thought everything was, well, go out, hunt. And, that's not fucking happening.
Nope. That person.
That's not fucking happening.
Be waiting to finish.
Yeah, for a long fucking time, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you think that's gonna... Hold up.
No. Okay, so Bill Cosby is a fucking douchebag. Started off the bat.
I know we suddenly changed topics because that item of debauchery was spoken before significant others entered a certain area of speech and discussion
of presence. But
we want to get into Bill Cosby because I know Squintus and I were both,
gigantic fans.
We're big
I
fans
love his comedies
from being a child.
I love the fucking Cosby Show. That was fucking awesome. And the fact now that it becomes more and more prevalent that he's a fucking
douchebag, dude.
A rapist.
A fucking rapist. I'm not saying he is,
one or
but
two.
It seems like he might be.
Multiple raping. Allegedly.
And he just he just admitted to acquiring drugs.
That would
what
help
the fuck
him.
Was in my pudding pops?
Exactly, right? Well, he didn't make them. He just
I know. And by the way,
I wish they came back.
Unfucking believable.
I wish they came back.
Dude, I would have done backflips to my grandmother. My grandmother.
Jello pudding.
When my grandmother showed me one, I remember thinking as a kid, I'll do anything.
They have like
I'd do anything in the world.
Do you remember that
Jello
they had some kind of like ice coating over it?
Yes, they did.
And once you broke the ice coating,
it was magic.
It was like magical. Like maybe they stopped reason when they make it. Maybe allegedly that ice coating
or cocaine on
the coke or fucking some kind of cancer-inducing statistical cancer-inducing.
It was worth every fucking penny.
Oh Jesus! I wish those came back out.
Every penny.
Oh, they're just
and
so
we're
good.
sorry for you guys that are listening on the other sides of the world that maybe don't know about the Puddin' Pops. And like I said, we're drunk right now, and we're gonna break to different subjects because that's what whatnots and what have yous means. Mm-hmm. But and believe me, we've got more debauchery stories for you later once we're in the clear.
Damn right.
But back to the Puddin' Pops, and if you guys haven't had Puddin' Pops, all the people that haven't, I'm sorry. I feel bad. I apologize for you people because it's such a good fucking treat as a child to have those things. It was unfucking believable. You know what I mean? But back to Bill Cosby.
Bill Cosby was the epitome of like the African American home family good guy.
Just an American family in general too. Yeah, it was African American, but
he pushed that boundary. He pushed that boundary of not some comedian Sanford and Son, good times bullshit, where you actually saw a family that was, African American, but that could relate to anybody, no matter what.
Yeah, anybody could relate to that shit, man.
And Bill Cosby was just funny dude.
Pops like a motherfucker too.
This dude was funny. He was funny. He was clean, but funny. But now the fact that
you remember Ghost Dad.
Oh, that was a terrible movie. Oh, good God, that was a terrible movie. Oh, my God. What were they thinking back then? But then again...
Of a guy that was a dad that turned into a ghost? I think that's pretty much what they were thinking.
Pretty much that was about it. And he probably got paid a fortune for it, too.
Probably so.
Because he was Bill Cosby.
That's right. He was
and now the fact that he's probably in his late years, obviously, and he's getting fucked. Rightfully so, because allegedly, if he did what he did allegedly... He deserves everything that comes to him. Every penny. If he allegedly did what he did, he deserves it. Allegedly.
Well, he got lucky. Because what is he, like 80-something?
Something in that age.
He's getting spanked now in his 80s. He got pretty fucking lucky, in my opinion.
But you know what, though? Anybody that gets to that age is worried about two things. One, death. Two, your legacy. His legacy
his legacy is
fucked. It's sodded. Even if somehow he skims passes every one of those accusations, his reputation is done. It's tarnished. It's
roasted.
Gone.
Roasted. And I'm not saying this because I want to see that happen. Because, like I said, I grew up with Bill Cosby. Squintus grew up with Bill Cosby.
It's a kind of the same premise with me with Michael Jackson. When I was a kid, I loved Thriller.
Oh, dude.
Thriller, man.
Dude, I was a big metalhead even when I was a fucking child. My mother hated the fact that I listened to metal. She hated every fucking...
Thriller, man.
Dude, but you know what? Even the fact that I listened to metal and I was big into Metallica, I was big into fucking Motley Crue and Twisted Sister and fucking, all the other semi-metal acts in the day before I actually got into the real deal shit that I listen to now, I still had a fucking place in my heart for some Michael Jackson tunes when I was a kid.
Right?
Because you know what? They just...
Yeah, right?
They were good, man.
It passed all breaks and barriers of any type of music. I could care less if, like you said, Metallica. It could be any genre of any music of anybody. They say Michael Jackson is the shit back in the day.
Dude,
right?
He was good, man.
And it's the same thing now, though. Nowadays, you can't listen to a song and go, damn, he fucking maybe diddled a kid, maybe he's a drug pusher. Yeah, he's dead. God bless his soul, whatever. But, dude, he tarnished his legacy.
He fucked his own legacy, man. He fucked his own legacy because he turned into a weirdo. Even with we're talking about when people get old.
Even with the point of Black and White, and I forgot the name of that CD, the album was called, with Black and White, and then with Jam on it, which, by the way, I think was a cool song even back in the day.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, with Michael Jordan doing the fucking the music video. But even then, Yeah, that's when he got really weird. But at least then he still had this superstar legacy. Now it's gone. When you talk about, I don't know about other countries, but at least the States, when you mention, first it was Michael Jackson, now it's Bill Cosby. When you hear that,
you realize that it's cyclic. We were just talking about how people get weirder as they get older because the fucking, the amount of stimulus, they require more stimulus to their brain
to keep
which
going.
Makes them start getting into hiding in bushes and doing weird shit, right? And this wasn't even intentional. We're drunk. This is not intentional.
We're just doing full circle.
What I realized in my drunken rant here is that everything's cyclic, right? Everything has a cycle. You realize that from your young years, you think, okay, everything's cool. And I'm not talking about myself because I haven't gotten to anything weird
funky
in my
yet.
life.
Not yet.
And I'm in my mid-30s. But I haven't gotten anything weird. But what I've noticed in my observational times in my life is that what I've seen from people where they go from these wholehearted people where, they have standards and they have fucking, they have grounds that they want to keep, and they have their standards. Their standards. The things that they want to keep in their
legacy.
In their legacy and in their life that they don't want to surpass, because once they've gone past that marker,
it's that's
a point of no return.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No going back.
And then you start hearing about these really successful motherfuckers, right? These successful guys that they got skills all day long, and then when you start delving in, because everybody's got skeletons in their closet, when you start delving into that shit.
Now, if you want to go to that route, Tonk, let's go towards Kung Fu Master David Carradine, and then also Michael Hutchinson, because In Excess, the lead singer In Excess, same guy that did the exact same thing.
Oh,
okay. If you had to choose, that, if you were portrayed as straight, and I'm straight, and there's nothing wrong with being homosexual. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Not one bit.
Whatever.
But
everybody's got their own
what I'm trying to relate to is the fact that, would you rather have, the only two choices you got, my friend, is they find you dead. Either it's what's called it, audio rectification, whatever it's called, where you hang yourself, asphyxiating yourself to fucking pleasure yourself to get off, or there's that rumor that you're gay. Now,
I'd rather die with the rumor that I'm gay.
Yeah, you and I are a little more.
I'm comfortable in.
We're a little more modern.
Manhood,
we're modern, but back in the day, especially David Carradine,
but that's weird, dude. People don't remember you dead.
But at the same time, though,
from waxing your missile, from fucking hanging yourself.
Yeah, but you rather have that or the fact that some lady boy or some gay dude was sucking your cock or fucking you in the ass, or whatever that happens, whatever.
I've never heard of a celebrity that died with that happening, but
you never know. They might be doing it together.
I'm sure it's probably in the works here in the next 10 years.
Or the fact that there might be someone that helped them with it, and something went wrong, and they had to cover the story. If
they were fucking assisting, I'm pretty sure nothing would have went wrong. I'm pretty sure somebody probably would have unhung the guy.
Well, you never know.
My balls are turning blue.
You never know.
It's time to fucking take me off the hook. Take me off the hook.
Don't get me wrong. There are times that I've self-medicated myself, and there have been times where it's taken longer than normal. But
dude, alcohol. Everybody's had the whiskily dickly.
Not that. I'm talking about just even normal soberness of tickling your fancy, and you look at something and you're like, you're looking at it, you're looking at the porn, you're looking at whatever that tickles your fancy before, but you're looking at it and you're like, not today.
So I told you, it's just like your coffee.
Yeah.
When you get older, your coffee needs to get a little bit more bitter.
So that might mean that when I'm 70, dude, I'm gonna get some sick shit.
I don't even want to fucking know, and I'm not even gonna ask you, goddammit.
But I have my own limits.
But what I'm trying to say is,
self-induced limits, by the way.
Yeah, self-induced limits. But what I'm trying to say is, you got these iconic characters,
right?
These iconic figures that people hold in such high regard, right?
But that's their own fault for doing that.
It is their own goddamn fault. It was choice. That's why it's your own fault. That's what choice is there for. That's the great thing about choice. So you can see people choose to be fucking idiots.
Exactly, and it's delightful sometimes.
You can choose to be fucking. choose to fuck themselves into oblivion. You know what I mean?
But I'm not talking about just the character. I'm not talking about the person that did the stupid thing. But I'm talking about the people judging that person for whatever that happened to him.
I'm not judging them.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the idiots.
I think it's funny. That's it.
Oh, some things, yeah.
I'm not judging anybody. If he wants to do that shit,
by all means,
right? You've got my fucking approval. But don't be pissed off if I'm, talking a little garbage a little later about some more garbage that is garbage to begin with.
That's a different ball game.
You know what I mean?
Different story, different ball game, different field, different teams.
And like I said, we're trailing off from everything, and that's what we do. We trail off and listen, enjoy, and
hopefully it's coherent.
Oh yeah, hopefully it's coherent, and open up your ear pussies so we can squeeze a little more loads of nonsense into nonsense.
Open your ear pussies and. I love this fucking band. They're the best band ever. Ladies and gentlemen. Tanini!
Which Quintus and I are big fans, by the way.
Damn right.
If you ever listen to us, that would be a happy time for us.
Shout out.
But
by the way, he's actually Jack Black. He's actually going to do a TV show called The Brink.
Never even heard of it.
It just came out. It's called It's a black comedy that's about the apocalypse. He's okay in it. It's not bad. It's not a bad TV show so far. I hope it has potential, but so far it's kind of like...
What network is it on?
HBO.
Oh, okay. It's got potential.
Yeah. Dude,
there are no limits for language.
Oh, they're kicking some ass on HBO, dude. There's one TV show you need to watch. I'm telling you. Watch True Detective.
By the way, guys, that weird...
Yeah, sounding shit.
Intake sound, that's me vaping, so... Just deal with it, okay?
Yeah, because
that's me vaping. I'm drinking. I'm gonna vape while I'm drinking, and I'm gonna vape while I'm drinking and talking. So.
He's got some dark-seated history of sucking on some nipple.
You.
Sucking on some nipples.
Yeah, I had a lack of nipplage when I was a kid.
Younger.
So I was a formula baby. So I didn't get enough nipples.
I was breastfed, and I was told to go on water when I was a infant.
God damn, Squintus.
I was so fat as a baby. The fucking doctor told me.
I don't know how to tell you this, but your son's got rubbery nipples. It's a kind of syndrome that comes from an over amounts of proteins and rubbery chemical bonds.
I cannot tell how many times my mother has told me that story of takes the doctor. What are you feeding him? Just breast milk?
Tits. Lots of tits.
Left, I want some water.
Right.
You better give him some water because I'm
shuffling him.
Fat.
Left to right, left to right.
Right, left, right, left, right. Yeah. Dude, I was fucked out of the chute
from the
of
nipple.
Life. Out of the chute.
Into the nipple fucked. And from the nipple, away from the nipple, and then back to the nipple later in your own life.
I was fucked the moment I came out of the birthing tube. God damn, man.
That's such a nice way to put that, Squintus.
I could be more vulgar, but it's my mother. Come on.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going to say that about my mother.
Why not upset your mother a little bit?
I already upset her.
That's what I do.
Because somehow I'm in favor of Obama.
Oh, well, that's
Remember
enough.
I told you that story?
That's enough to fucking
Did I ever tell you that
send
story?
your mother
I told you that
over
story,
the
right?
edge.
I told you that story. I talked to her recently, and there's a new fad called mermaiding. I think it's called mermaid.
Oh, please tell me. I have no fucking idea.
Where men dye their hair different rainbow colors and their beards rainbow colors, and they call it mermaiding. And
okay, hold up. Guys grow their beards out.
Well, irregardless if they have beards or not, if they have facial hair and regular top hair, they call it mermaiding, where they'll rainbow dye their hair.
Why?
What the fuck do I know? I'm a fucking 35-year-old man that knows dude, I have no hair.
I don't even know what the fuck mermaiding means.
It's some kind of dumb phrasing they use. Irregardless, there's graying for women. There's a fad for graying women, by the way.
Dude, there's Japanese women that run around with purple and pink hair.
That's one thing.
Like fucking 80-year-old women with purple and pink hair.
It's one thing when you're talking about dyeing your hair. Different, like, purple, green, orange, red, whatever.
And they look at us like we're fucking...
No
we're
shit,
the scum
right?
of the earth.
But anyways, I had to mention saying, what the hell is wrong with the country when men somehow feel that it's attractive to dye their hair different colors? Okay? So, I proceeded to go on to saying how the country is screwed up, in my personal opinion, in certain views, in certain ways, and then my mother proceeds to go saying, "It's Obama's fault. It's Obama's fault." And of course, I had to tell my mother, I am no fan of Obama. He's not the greatest president nor the worst, but of course, my mother thinks he's the Antichrist in pretty much every sense, other than proclaiming himself being the Antichrist. And I proceed to tell my mother that it's just his fault alone. Yes, he's at fault for many, many, many things, but he's not the only one. But she had to disagree. She had to agree to disagree that it's all Obama's fault. So, I'm going to love when the 2016 election happens and a new president comes into term.
To hear what kind of debacle he caused by coming into office. Right? What kind of debacle is going to happen when the next president? Because you and I both know it doesn't matter what fucking president, doesn't matter what fucking time frame, it doesn't matter what's going on. That president is going to get blamed for something in his life. For everything. You know what I mean? And I'm not siding with any fucking president. I'm just saying that the president is there to catch blame and to be the headpiece of the rest of the fucking cod pieces.
Yeah, the moldy cod pieces.
Yeah, the moldy cod pieces that take the blame for everything that goes on.
They blame even the Congress blames the president.
Of course they do.
They're the ones that make the laws. So how are you blaming the president?
He tries to influence their laws, but they have the yay or nay pretty much, with the exception of a veto.
He can veto it, but then again, they have ways to supersede that veto too.
Yeah. So with all that being said, there's ways for everything to get jacked up. But you know what? If you want to blame Obama, cool. If you want to blame Congress, cool. But you know what? It's a collaborative clusterfuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what decade you live in. There's going to be a debacle. There's going to be a a bunch of bullshit that goes on. And that, my friends, is the bat phone. So if you guys want to get upset,
that we've broken
upset.
Twice.
We have a bat phone in this house, and that's what it is.
We've broken twice now.
Yeah. It's the bat phone, okay? And we get bat phone calls for people that need us to come in and...
because for some reason, certain things need to be done right now.
Yeah, and take care of business. So, with that exception being made, you guys got to hear the bat phone. Congratulations. Most people don't hear the bat phone ring. Especially during the podcast.
By the way, if you look at Arkham Knight, have you actually seen the uniform for the original Batman outfit on the Batman?
Unfortunately, yes.
You know how ridiculous it looks. By the way, though, it looks ridiculous, but
it looks real. It looks
real. The cloth, the sheen.
It looks right.
Yeah, the sheen, everything that comes off the cape and the boots and everything else.
We're gonna have to tell Oracle not to be placing bat phone calls during podcast
moments,
allotted podcast times.
Right, because Batman needs to save Gotham City.
Batman needs a little fucking alone time.
Right.
For something, so...
Maybe that's why he's so grumpy, because he doesn't have alone time to do what he needs to do. Go.
But enough with the bat phone. Anyways.
Right.
Back into the original things that we're talking about.
Right.
Which is debauchery. I think that's the whole theme of this podcast this week.
Every form of debauchery.
Exactly. And it comes down to, Quintus was talking about his whole little bird flu breath and the seated side.
I didn't have bird flu.
Well, it related to your story. And the hole in the wall bullshit and all that stuff.
Right.
Then we can get into a little bit of my debauchery and my early years.
Can I pick one for you?
Sure, why don't you pick one?
What was the best one so far that I crack up every single time? That will not happen now, but that's okay.
No, it'll happen.
Okay, let me pick, because this podcast has been a little different from the rest, let's finish this off with a great shebang. Let's go with the Mikey one, with the waking him up one, and then proceeding with the sister bit.
Mikey.
New Mexico Mikey.
Oh, man.
You don't have to delve all the way.
I remember that. Okay, so there was a time in my life where I had gotten out of the military and proceeded to try to be a rock star, which we were on our way there, but I just didn't see it coming into fruition, so I decided to go ahead and listen to my father's antics and take a little trip to New Mexico, which was a fucking trip, okay?
By the way, not normal Santa Fe, Albuquerque, New Mexico. No.
Oh, no.
No. Those are real cities, by the way.
No. I wound up in a place called Clovis, okay? And you should already be able to take in from what I'm saying when you hear the word and
Google
the name
Map.
Clovis.
Okay? Go Google Map, Clovis, New Mexico, and you will see where it's directly located. Bumfuck USA.
Bumfuck nowhere. Bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah, please proceed.
I'm from New York, everybody. If you haven't been able to find out by now, by the slight way that I talk, but I managed to work my way down there to go see my old man because he was in the military at the time, and he was into being in that part of the world because he was into restoring old cars and whatnot and whatever. But anyways, I managed to work my way down to a fucking armpit in the world called Clovis. Okay.
Stinky armpit, by the way.
I remember the first thing that I saw when I got down there, in my fucking days of driving for 24 hours straight without any breaks and just a bunch of coffees, is rolling in the town, looking around, and the first thing I see besides some dilapidated buildings and a bunch of fucking hooligans is tumbleweeds. Okay?
It's the stereotypical...
The stereotypical Old West...
Stumbling, bumbling,
rolling around and fucking grumbling tumbleweeds. I didn't think they were real until I started dodging them like a fucking Atari video game. Okay?
Not the weave tumbleweeds, but just a regular tumbleweeds.
Yeah, we're talking about tumbleweeds. We're talking about some rolling bush. Okay?
Okay. So, please proceed to the...
So I get into Clovis.
Your employment.
I hang out with my old man for a little while. My old man says, "Hey, if you want something of a hobbyist thing to do, you want to learn a little fucking trade or whatever. Why don't you start doing some painting of some houses? I got a guy that I know. His name's Mikey. Why don't you go hook up with Mikey there and see if you can do some spackling." I know you've done some spackling in your time, but why don't you hook up with Mikey there and see what Mikey can do for you? So I go talk to Mikey. Mikey says, "Yeah, we're looking for a guy. We're looking for someone with your expertise, which is none." Okay, so why don't you come on in and we'll teach you the trade secrets of how to spackle and spackle and mackle and frackle.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyways, hook up with Mikey. Start fucking doing the house bit, painting some houses. And Mikey whips out a spliff. And that's when the whole...
Is it a good spliff?
It was a good spliff.
Okay, that's good.
And that's when the whole world changed.
Upside down.
Okay? Because just painting houses turned into fun. Okay? And I remember I was up a ladder. I was painting some shit. And I remember Mikey was holding the ladder for me, right? And I was painting a fucking sun window, around the sun window, not on the sun window, but around the sun window that was allowing sun to come in. And Mikey goes, "Hey, Tonk, you want to smoke a spliff, man?" I don't know what it is about stoners, but they always use the word man.
Right, bro, man.
So you want to smoke a spliff, man? And I remember looking down and thinking, yeah, I'd like to smoke a spliff, but I'm up on this fucking ladder. What is that going to do to my equilibrium? You know what I mean? And I said, Mikey, what the fuck am I going to do about my equilibrium? Who cares, man? Just come on down and roll one up, man.
Smoke it, man.
Yeah, man. So being the dumbass that I was in my early 20s, I rolled down and allowed...
I think you were wise at the time, actually.
I was wise in some ways, but I was
pretty wise.
I was a dumbass in other ways.
Okay.
But... roll down there, smoke a spliff with Mikey. Next thing I know, I'm back up the ladder because Mikey sent me back up the ladder after fucking rolling a spliff. And
he knew.
Yeah, he knew. He knew what was going on. Sends me back up the fucking ladder. Next thing I know, I'm fucking wobbling. I'm trying to maintain my balance.
Grasp reality.
Yeah, I'm trying to grasp reality. I'm trying to, figure out, okay, I know that I'm roasted right now, but I'm trying to get myself into a mode of being roasted, but being able to, maintain myself. You know what I mean?
You won't fall off the ladder and break your neck.
So I don't fall off the ladder and break my neck. So I'm up there, I'm painting this shit, and everything starts to come in a little clearer. You know,
nice.
You start to focus a little bit more.
Right.
Okay? And that's just one story. Okay? It doesn't go too much from there. I just tried to fucking hold myself, and I realized that I was tore up from the flow up, and
but
whatever.
a good flow up from the flow up.
So then, the next day, or whenever, because this is a condensed timeline, I go back over, and Mikey lived in basically a warehouse. He lived in a fucking trailer home inside of a warehouse.
So it was like one of those. You told me
it was like a caboose.
The 1950s.
Yeah, like a 1950s camper cab.
Camper cab that was like rounded dome shaped.
It was a rounded dome shape inside of a warehouse that smelled like paint. Okay.
All right.
We're fucking rolling up in there because Mikey was my boss.
Okay, and what time was this?
I rolled up in there like 7:30 in the morning or whatever.
Okay.
I roll up in there and Mikey's not awake, which means that Tonk has to wake up Mikey. So
you're being the responsible one, by the way.
Yeah, being the responsible one. So Tonk walks into Mikey's fucking 1950s camper cab to wake up Mikey, and Mikey, of course, is asleep.
Yeah, all right.
So I say to Mikey, I'm like, hey, time to wake up, Mike.
Let's get going.
This motherfucker pops up out of bed like a friggin' spring with a spliff in his hand. And I'm not bullshitting you. That's exactly how I recollect it, dude. I remember saying, Mikey, dude, it's 7:30. What the fuck are you doing, man? You gotta get up.
It's late, man.
You gotta get up. Oh, damn, man. Jumps out of bed. Hey, you want to smoke this spliff? I said, dude, we haven't even been to work yet, man. What the fuck are you doing? You know? He says, man, we need to smoke this spliff before we go to work. I said, dude, I gotta maintain, dude. I gotta focus, dude. I gotta maintain. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, if your boss is cool with it, that's pretty fucking cool.
Oh,
dude.
I mean, that's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So Mikey, he lights it up, and of course I get peer pressured by my boss that I woke up out of his
peer pressure my
daze.
ass.
Yeah.
Peer pressure my ass.
I get woke up.
Yeah, right.
And I smoke a spliff with Mikey and go to work. And this is pretty much the.
It's not like it's like fucking 3 shots of tequila you're drinking, or fucking.
It still waxes your brain for
or doing a fucking shot of heroin.
If you got some good shit.
It's not like it's fucking doing heroin, dude. You're fucking doing some nice good old sticky of the icky.
Yeah, it's sticky of the icky. So. Anyways, I'm just laying down the groundwork so you can understand where I'm dealing with here. So. Somewhere in this collage of memories in my mind comes a point where I walk out of the warehouse one day where Mikey lives in with his 1950s camper inside of the warehouse to see his sister.
Okay. And
there was the look, and
there was some devious looking,
some devious, sneaky
on both ends, or just your end, her end,
not
your
just
end,
my
both.
end, but
okay,
and whatever. I thought, okay, fine. It is what it is. It's cool. She got a guy that looks like fucking Eminem, an Eminem clone or whatever, but whatever. So I go back home, and I can't exactly remember the time frame because it's been so long in my life. But I remember I was hanging out with my old man. We're watching something, drinking a couple beers, and the phone rings. So my father, being the lazy motherfucker that he is, says, "Hey, go fucking answer the phone." So I get up and I answer the phone, and I hear, "Ooh. Ooh." I say, "Hello." Ooh. I say, "Hello, who the fuck is this?" Ooh.
Got a fucking owl on the phone?
Yeah, and back to the owl again.
Mr.
Like I said, everything's cyclic.
Right.
I say, "Who the fuck is this?" I'm gonna hang up. Is this Tonk? Yeah, this is Tonk. Hey, I'm getting boned right now. I said, okay, you're getting boned.
Is it a dude saying this?
No, it's a bro.
Oh, okay. Because the way your voice was saying.
I'm getting boned right now.
All right.
And I said, congratulations.
Have fun.
I'm going to hang up. Congratulations. Have fun. And I hang up. And my father looks over at me. My father says, okay, so what the fuck was that? I said, dude, I don't even want to get into this. All right? And my father starts giving me that that grin.
Yeah, right.
What the fuck? What are you talking about? I said, dude, I don't even want to get into it. Let's just unpause the movie and let's get back to whatever's going on. So I'm watching the movie and I see my father side-eyeing me, giving me the eye.
How the fuck did he know?
What the fuck is going on? Obviously, he could tell by my reactions on the phone and my face, So anyways, go back to watch whatever the fuck we're watching because it was on a tape or whatever.
VHS.
And then the phone rings again. And my father says, why don't you get up and answer again and find out what's going on?
He knew.
So I answer the phone again.
He
said, hello. I said, who the fuck is this? Because now it's not interesting anymore, okay? The funniness is out of this. Who the fuck is this?
Right?
I'm getting my shit beat up right now. I said, good. I'm happy for you. I told you before. Congratulations. What the fuck does that got to do with me?
Right.
I know who you are. I said, I don't know who you are, but I don't give a fuck. Go back to hooting and hollering and whatever the fuck you want to do. Why the fuck are you calling my house while you're getting fucking shebanged? Right. Well, don't you want to know who I am? I said,
give a fuck less.
I said, if you want me to start being the detective, okay, I'm pretty sure I know who you are by the tone of your voice because I've heard your voice before. I'm not going to say who you are, but you know that I know that you know that I know who you are.
Exactly.
Okay? I said, if you got some balls or you got some guts, why don't you come over to my house and you got some courage? You know where I live, supposedly, because I know who you are and you know who I am because you're calling my house hooting. I said, why don't you come over and bang on my door and then we'll fucking settle this, okay?
Exactly. Settle the score.
Settle the score. So, not that night, but the night later, a bang
Thank God it wasn't the same night.
Yeah, thank God it wasn't. That would have been disgusting. But, thank God, or whatever, whoever the fuck you want to think of a higher authority.
Whatever that's above us.
I'm just using it as a form of wordage. But anyways, the next day, a knock, a rap-a-tap-tap comes on the door, and there's the
who's this? Who is this?
The sister of the Mikey.
Oh my God!
Is there on the door, and I said, you know what? I knew who it was just by your voice, and
pure bliss for how long?
Yeah, and I can get into it deeper.
But let's not, because
at a later time.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, you can
You're
use your imagination, but but I had already been the detective in my years of watching enough Batman fucking episodes to be able to deduce what the fuck is going on.
Okay, but that's not the story. That's the story. But the part that I find hilarious is the after effect of the cause and effect. The cause and effect.
I'll get into the story later.
Yeah.
In more depth in another episode, and we'll make sure to use some notes or whatever so people know what we're talking about. But it all comes back to, I remember going back to Mikey's cab, his little
cabin,
his little camper inside of the warehouse that smells like fucking paint all the time. I remember saying, "Hey, Mikey, I was hanging out over in this certain area the other day, and I ran across your sister." And I remember Mikey jumped out of bed and he goes, "Hey, man, you stay away from my sister, man."
He knew. He fucking knew.
You stay away from my sister, man. Hey, by the way, I got a thick one rolled up right now. You want to go ahead and hit on there? I remember thinking, God damn, dude, I'm going to fucking live this part of my life in a daze with a bunch of weird people.
But it's a great story. It was free.
In a weird part of town.
All free.
In a weird fucking state.
Did you pay for any of it?
No, I didn't.
There you go.
In a weird area of the America.
Right.
Of the America.
America.
I came from New York. There wasn't enough people around where I live to have enough weird shit to happen to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and then I rolled down to this place with tumbleweeds and tumble-twats and
but
fucking...
Of course.
Of
course. But of course.
Mind you, I say the word. Tumbleweeds.
Weeds. Pluraled.
Tumble-twats.
To
make my way into a strange, comical point in my life.
Tonk, would you regret this scenario of Clovis or not? Yeah, Clovis probably, from what you told me over and over years, sucked. Clovis itself sucked. But all the great experiences you had within Clovis, you cannot truly regret Clovis.
it was an okay place to go in there and roll in like a tumbleweed.
But dude,
and
from
roll
all
the fuck on out.
Story you told me from how long were you there thinking? Technically,
2 months.
Dude, 2 freaking months. All
months.
those stories happened within 2 months.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude!
It was like it was a piece of the Twilight Zone, man. It was a piece of the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
You know. But we'll get more. We'll delve more into the Twilight Zone later with all you fucking people that want to subscribe and listen to more of the debauchery that goes on between and all the perverted bullshit that goes on in the life of Tonkin Squintus. But we're gonna cut this one a little short. We thank you guys for fucking tuning in.
Like I said, seal.
Squint is about to break the seal, which means it's about to get broken. Which means that thank you for tuning in to another Whatnots and What Have Yous, and we'll see you fucking douchebags next week.
Peace.
Laters.